Welcome to the SAP Entertainment Show, where we interview singers, rappers, entrepreneurs of all walks of life. And today's guest, we have a talented podcaster by the name of Donnell Woods. How you doing?
How are you? I'm doing well.
Okay, it's great to have you on the show. So let the world hear your story.
Well, first off, I should say my name is Danielle Woods. I'm also known as Donnie Boy. I'm a podcaster for Ground Sounds. We are a media company here in Columbus, Ohio. My job is to consult with artists from all over the world and interview them through our podcast, and also invite them on to perform at Ground Sounds.
Okay, so what is this Ground Sounds? What all do you guys offer?
So Ground Sounds was originally founded in California by one of my best friends, John David. He is the co-founder and president of Ground Sounds. He came up with this idea when he was working out in LA to really go to the groundwork for independent artists. You know, you see artists performing on the street and you see them out, just grinding and selling their CDs. And one day he just decided, let me interview those people. There's a lot of people going on the red carpet and, interviewing these big stars, but not a lot of them are on the grind or on the street interviewing these independent artists. So that's what he started to do. And he came to Columbus, Ohio, which I reside, and he started building the company. And it's been going for about 15 years now. And so what we do is, like I said, we focus on three main aspects: music, art, and culture. Mm-hmm. So anytime we meet an artist that deal with those three themes, we look into them and we start the process of either interviewing them or promoting their music.
Okay, that's what's up. So where you from?
So I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio, which is southwest, I want to say, of Columbus, about an hour southwest. And I've traveled a lot throughout the country. I recently just graduated from a community college in Philadelphia about 2 years ago with my media degree. And I decided to come back to Ohio to, transfer into Ohio State. Now things didn't kind of work out, so I got a job at Ground Sounds. Crazy story. It's so crazy because I had a friend of mine that I'd known from the past, and when I came back, we linked up, and he's like, I work for this company, got me on, and now the rest is history. So now I've been working for the company for about 1.5 years, and I'm just really excited to really reach out to the artists and start to promote people more often.
Okay, that's what's up. So what inspired you to start the podcast?
I've always had a feel for being a promoter and allowing people to pretty much have a voice. And I thought it was when I used to audition for a lot of music shows back in the day, and I would always talk to artists there at the music shows, and they were always saying, like, there's nobody who's giving us a voice. There's no one who's allowing us to tell our story. And it's really cool because now, people like you and I are getting to do that now. Sure. And it just kind of went from there. I didn't know how I wanted to start, or what I needed to do. It was just all in tune to myself. I started, really listening to my intuition and just making the right decision. And now it landed me here with Ground Sounds. And now I'm getting to tell my story with you.
Right.
So really appreciate you having me on.
That's what's up. It's a blessing. Who your top influencers?
Wow. There's a lot of, wow. That's a pretty hard question. I will say one is, I think they're called 85 South with DC Young Fly and others. Yeah. When I started watching them at the beginning stages, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. And this is around the time that I had moved back to Columbus, Ohio. I think it was like 2020, I want to say. That's when I started watching them. And it really kind of motivated me. I was like, wow, these guys it's so natural and authentic. It's not like, they go through this whole script and, all right, this is what we're going to do. It was just, they bring people on and they tell a story, and you really get to see the natural sense of not just an artist, but a human being. And it's really cool. It was really cool for me. And that was one thing that was kind of like an influence for me to see, like, wow, this is how, to be able to help artists express themselves, put them in a nice, situation or position where they can tell their story.
Okay, for sure.
Sure.
Speaking of DC Young Fly, he just shared one of our podcasts.
Oh yeah, and DC, shout out to him, man. It's really cool that and that's one thing that I really appreciate about people who are in that position to have a lot of followers, a lot of views, someone who has influence. They never forget, the little people like me or you know what I mean, like us.
For sure.
We're trying to really tell people a positive story, and hopefully that's relatable to society.
That's what's up. Okay, so tell me about a time that you failed but you overcame it.
I would say there's a lot of situations. I would say when I was getting my associate's degree at Monco out in Philadelphia, it's just right outside Philadelphia. It's in a place called Bluebell, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
So long story short, back in like 2015, I tore my Achilles, and I was just in a limbo, trying to figure out what should I do with my life, and I didn't know. So I called some family members up out in PA, and they suggested for me to get my degree. Right. And I was like, all right, I'll do that. So I moved out to Philadelphia in 2016. Excuse me. And it took me a while to get my associates. Usually people say you're supposed to get your associates in 2 years, but it took me about 4 years to get my associate's degree. But there I had a lot of challenges. I was homeless for the first year and a half, 2 years while I was out there. And I was battling, being a full-time student and also working, but not having a place to lay my head, which was a big thing for me because, there's a lot of people out here who are grinding and who are, doing what they need to. They just don't have the right resources to help them, elevate them to the next stage. Sure. But while I was there, I was able to receive support and help from not only the school, but from my friends and family. And, having that help and that support really motivated me to continue to grind it out. And, I was able to find housing and get my own apartment and, go to the next stage. And then I moved to Columbus. So I would say during that time, it felt very hard, and I was hurting a lot internally. But, like I said, my intuition was like, just keep grinding. This is only temporary. Mm-hmm. Everyone, and the situation could have been worse. That's one thing that really kind of helped me stay positive is thinking about all the other people. Because I remember when I was sleeping out on the street, there were people who were in wheelchairs, who had children who were homeless and people who needed assistance. So
were you in LA when you were on the streets, or?
Oh, I was in Philadelphia when I was out in Philadelphia. I did live out in LA when I turned 21. This was a while ago. I'll say like 2013, 2014. I moved out to LA for a few months because I was in like a boy band, and it just didn't work out. I wasn't prepared. I didn't realize that was a culture shock to me living out in LA. It was a culture shock. Yeah,
suck you in and spit you out.
Yeah. I always tell people, when you want to move out of your city, wherever you're from, and you want to go to these big cities like LA, Chicago, New York, Atlanta, just make sure that you're prepared mentally, mm-hmm. physically, and emotionally and spiritually, because there's a lot of dangerous people out here who they might seem good in front of you, but their intentions are elsewhere.
Yes.
It's really important to have, your razor focus and, on what you want, because a lot of distractions can really deter you off of your goals and aspirations.
Yes, for real. I've been in LA for 3 years now.
Wow.
The first 2 years work, then COVID hit. Then last year I started networking, and so I met Superior, and look at me now.
I applaud. I wish there was a button we could put there.
I know, like
right. No, but very important. And like I said, I thank you for taking the time out of your day, really your vacation to do this interview.
Okay.
Because it's people like you who give, people like me a voice, and who knows who this could inspire or motivate.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm aspiring to do, is motivate and help people grow in their lives. So I really thank you for that.
You're so welcome. Besides podcasts, what other talents you have? Let's say that.
I'm a very multi-talented kind of guy. I started off playing sports when I was a kid, probably like 4 or 5. Playing football, basketball, and soccer here and there.
Yeah.
And I got into baseball when I was in junior high. And I just started. I wasn't active. I'm very active. I play guitar and sing. I also play piano here and there. Now I don't perform as an artist, but I do, do private events and stuff like that, just to keep my habits up and other than that, I'm all over the place. I play ping pong, I skateboard, literally last night. So I don't know if you know or not, but out here in Columbus, we had a power outage yesterday, and people were freaking out. It was crazy.
I know. Okay. Remember the movie called The Blackout?
Yeah. But the bad thing about it was certain areas in Columbus. I won't go too into depth about what I was reading up on, but it just seemed kind of suspect. But long story short, I ended up, my apartment didn't have power, so I ended up skateboarding down to Columbus, Ohio, which is about, from where my house is to my friend's house downtown, is about 7 miles.
On a skateboard?
On a skateboard, yeah. But luckily it was at nighttime, and not a lot of traffic was out, but it was hot too. So when I got there, I was just drenched. Everybody was looking at me all weird, like, why are they sweating so much? It must be hot. I was like, yeah, I just skateboarded 7 miles. So.
Right. Wow, you were determined to get to where you were going.
Yeah, because I didn't have any It was weird because they were talking about, like, they were trying to take stress off of the electricity here in the city, so they shut off certain powers at certain parts of Columbus to kind of relieve stress from the I forgot what the name is. I'm forgetting the name already, but the source of electricity. Mm-hmm. And that means they probably shut off everything. So when I was at home, people could call me, but me talking to them would sound staticky, so it seemed like something from a movie. So I was like, I can't stay home if, my girl's calling, and I want to make sure that she's okay. And, so I just went downtown, stayed there overnight, and I came back. And fortunately, when I came back, power was on. So,
right. Okay.
I didn't take it back. I didn't do that. No, that's too much. Going down there is fine, but I wouldn't. Yeah,
you wouldn't drive back on that skateboard, huh?
Yeah, no. I'm getting too old for that. I'm getting too old for that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but those are some of the things that my hobbies that I do other than podcasting.
Okay, so let's get back to this ground sounds. Is that your?
Yeah, ground sounds. Yeah, music, art, and culture is the 3 themes that we focus on. So we don't only just focus on musicians or people who do music, but we also focus on people who have a voice. In the culture aspect, people who are painters, people who, organizations that help, or organizations that are community outreach programs, or, anything that deals with those 3 aspects, we focus on, so, and it's an international company. You can go to groundsounds.com and check out our page. We have, contributors from South Africa to Australia to the UK, and parts of Russia. So it's an international company, which I didn't realize it when I first started a year and a half ago, how big this was, until I started really reaching out to artists and getting connected and networking. And I was like, wow, this is really about to turn into something that's really huge. Like
yeah, really, that's what's up. So what could we be looking forward to with the ground sounds?
It's a lot. So right now we're in, I'm creating right now I call it a time bridge or a wormhole. if you want to so to speak. I'm bringing time together to create a creative bridge. So right now what I'm doing is artists who we have live events. It's called Groundbreakers every month, and we have independent artists come to our studio and perform. And so what I've done is I have connections out in Philadelphia with shout out to my homie Fresh the Legend. He does similar to what we do, but he does showcases every month. So people who perform in Ohio here at Ground Sounds have a potential bid to perform out in Philadelphia at Fresh's showcase. So we're really trying to create not just a connection between artists and Ground Sounds, but make a connection between artists, Ground Sounds, and other organizations out in another state. So definitely look forward to that. There's a showcase happening June the 22nd out in Philadelphia. There's a girl by the name of 22 Bree, who's going to be performing from Columbus in Philadelphia. And we just had our first artist, Valencia from Columbus, Ohio, perform in Philly last month, and it was amazing. People can check out the video on Instagram, either on my page or at Fresh the Legend. Valencia, anybody, it's going to be a really big thing. So I definitely hope people look out for that. We're definitely going to be trying to promote artists, independent artists, not just from here in Ohio, but from all over the world.
That's dope. I just dropped my EP on the 5th.
You did? Oh,
yeah, I produce. I do it all.
Let me find out. Hold on. Wait a minute. Nah, Superior, he didn't say nothing about that.
Yes. Come on now.
Oh man, no,
yeah, but my EP I did drop. It's called Shylay, and my name is Sarahsoulstress, so it's all over every platform. So
okay, have you made the video yet for the EP or for
no.
Okay. So I'll definitely check that out. Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, besides the people you're working with now, any top names you work with?
Not any top. Well, I don't know. She might get mad at me. My friend might get mad at me. But right now, I work with there's a girl by the name of Amy Roulette. She lives out in Miami, Florida. I truly believe she's probably going to be the next Whitney Houston. She just has this amazing voice that is just amazing, and her stage it's crazy. Just be on the lookout for Amy Roulette. I also work with the Mad Stuntman. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him or not, but he's the guy who created the I Like to Move It.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So yeah, I see him from time to time. I also have some connections with dang, he's gonna hate me for forgetting his name. Isa Ali. He's one of Dave Chappelle's artists. Him, Amy Roulette, and the Mad Stuntman recently was working on a song together a few months ago. Now I don't know if they're gonna release that song or not. I won't go too much detail because it hasn't. There's some stuff down the pipeline that's definitely I think people should watch out for. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be really great.
Okay. Yes, you heard it, you guys. Be looking out for it. So, what obstacles did you have to overcome to get this far in your life?
Oh man, I would say a lot, and I'm actually still going through some obstacles now. But I'm coming out of this transitional phase. I really think I would say three things. One, I would say financial management. That was a big thing in my life that I'm going through right now. Just learning how to manage my money and my time. Yeah, and after money, I would say time management as well. And a lot of people don't think that time and money have a coincide, but they really do. If you're able to manage your time in a way that you can make money, it's really going to be beneficial. And then the third thing is staying motivated and having a positive mindset, even when things are still kind of shaky. Because recently, I just lost my mother this past month, and
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm really trying to stay around positive people and keep my mind in a positive mindset, because it's really hard losing, your mom. And my mom was someone who I was always communicated with, and I
Sure.
wanted her to be
Mom.
around.
Yeah.
I really wanted her to be around to see all this stuff transpire in front of her. But God had other plans. But one thing that I'm learning now is, sometimes you got to take charge of your own life. Even when things aren't going the way you want them to,
Mm-hmm.
you can't allow your circumstance or, other people to try to dictate, who you are, what you have to do, and what your aspirations are. So I would definitely say those things were challenges for me to get to where I am now. And I'm still going. There's still challenges that I'm facing now, but I feel like that I'm in this transitional phase where I'm, springing out of all this turmoil and, transition. And I'm just continuing to try to say, razor focus is that's my slogan, my logo is, razor
So,
focus.
what are your strengths?
Strengths? I would say, one is having a positive outlook. I'm an optimist, slash realist. I understand that, being overly optimistic could have issues. So even though when I go through struggles, I try to find a positive in them to keep me motivated, and understand that, this is what's happening, don't try to make it a fantasy land, but
Exactly.
stay positive, I would also say, I just feel like I have a very bright personality. I like to talk to people and communicate and hear their story. And I think podcasting is one of those things that I like doing, because I like to hear people's story. And
Oh, yeah.
it's really interesting hearing, where people come from and how they are motivated to do what they do. And last but not least, I'm very active. I'm an active person, whether that's playing sports or whether that's, out in the community talking to people or just working, I'm very active. I like to take initiative to do things, whenever I get an idea or something that I think might help someone else or the community, I take the initiative and start it up or just start doing it. So those are definitely one of those things that are my strengths for sure.
That's what's up.